The story begins in a massive building. A news broadcast is playing. It's breaking news. After 13 hours of intense meetings, a decision has finally been made. The Samyung Group has appointed its new chairman. John Song-guk has officially been chosen as the CEO. Unlike other third-generation chairmen who stepped down due to scandals or poor management, CEO John Song-guk isn't like them. This man is John Song-guk, the new CEO of Samyung Group. Hearing this news, Song-guk starts laughing and says, "Yes, that's right. Keep praising me. I'm the king of Samyung Group." He reflects on how much effort he put in to reach this point. Studying abroad, working out, keeping his foolish siblings in check, handling his uncle's mess, and managing his arranged marriage partner. He did it all perfectly. He even built himself a flawless public image. Everything went exactly as planned. Becoming the master of Samyung Group was only natural. He declares, "All right, this is a new beginning. And now that I'm finally CEO, the first thing I'll do is kick out that punk Taga's disciple from the company." But right then, his phone slips from his hands and drops to the ground. He starts gasping for air. It flashes in his mind that his grandfather, the founder of Samyung Group, had also died of a heart attack. He panics, saying, "No, this can't be happening to me. Someone like me doesn't die from a simple heart attack." But his story doesn't end there. Instead of dying, he reincarnates as a baby, and not just any baby, but one born into a poor family. He's completely shocked and starts screaming. His new parents try to calm him down. After a while, he finally settles down. His mom lovingly says, "Isn't our Song-guk just the cutest?" She's only 21 years old. His dad, Ji-sung, is 23. The dad agrees. He's even cuter than most celebrity babies. His mom adds, "Our Song is lucky to be born so handsome." But Song is thinking something completely different. Internally, he screams, "Lucky? Are you kidding me?" He spits out his pacifier in anger and thinks, "What is happening to me? My perfect body, 183 centimeters tall, weighing 75 kilos with a 500 kilo total lift in the big three. Where did it all go?" He looks at his tiny baby form and groans. "What am I now? This weird little creature barely taller than 3 heads stacked together. I was from a prestigious, powerful family. I had an elite body, a perfect resume. I was John Song-guk of Samyung Group, and now I'm just some poor family's baby." His new parents are basically a young couple in their 20s. They come from orphanage backgrounds and have absolutely nothing. From now on, we'll refer to this baby as Song. He remembers, "I was just celebrating with my favorite wine. One bottle costs 4 million won." Just then, his mom says, "All right, time for milk." Song panics. "Wait, no. Now I've got to drink this cheap formula milk." But he's in a baby's body, and babies can't say no to milk. He starts crying as he drinks. His dad kisses him on the cheeks, and Song thinks, men shouldn't show this much affection. Dying on the best day of my life. Turning into a baby. Everything just feels miserable. But honestly, the hardest thing is dealing with these two. They're so clingy, so lovey-dovey. It's unbearable. Yet, there's something about being cared for like this. Something I've never felt before. We see a flashback of his original parents. They never gave him proper attention. They'd always say, "Handle your responsibilities yourself. Take care of your younger siblings." Basically, he never had real parents growing up. Back to the present, he says, "Now's not the time to get sentimental." His dad asks, "Are you getting sleepy after eating?" Song thinks, "Wait, oh right, I'm a baby now." He internally complains, "How can I possibly sleep right now?" But in a baby's body, you can't fight sleep. His dad whispers, "Looks like he's falling asleep." And Song decides, "Fine, I'll sleep for now. I'll deal with all of this tomorrow." He drifts off and his dad says, "Good. While he's sleeping, you should rest too." Song's mom replies, "No, we should work together. You still have to leave for your job soon." He says, "Just relax, watch some TV." He turns on the TV and the news is still on. This time it's reporting a scandal. Samyung Group's chairman, John Josh, is accused of accepting bribes. The chairman himself has come forward to answer the press. As soon as Song hears the company's name, he suddenly wakes up and sits straight. His mom gasps, "Honey, did you see that? Our Song sat up all on his own." But Song is panicking inside. "This can't be. That's my grandfather, but he's supposed to be dead. This boy, he's been reborn in the past, but into someone else's family." The news continues. Song sits close to the TV, watching carefully. He clearly remembers this moment. When he was 10 years old, his grandfather was caught giving bribes. The people who feared their power took advantage of the situation. They started calling their company a shady corporation that runs on bribes. What nonsense, he thinks. Money is power and connections. They're superpowers. Thinking you can become rich just by saving money, that's a poor man's dream. His parents are overjoyed that their baby is starting to sit up on his own. But Song recalls clearly before the prosecution, his grandfather told him to crash into his wheelchair. It was all staged to gain public sympathy. But for Song, that moment had felt like a brand new beginning. That was the day I proved to the entire world that I was the true successor of Sam Young Group. After my grandfather and my father, it was my turn. But at that moment, the one pushing my grandfather's wheelchair was my younger brother, Jin Taegu. I thought to myself, that foolish, greedy little brother. He went abroad to study, but only managed to become an addict. He spent his whole life trying to take my place. The real issue wasn't that I had turned into a child, or even that I had traveled back to the past. It was that my fate, my position, my everything had been ripped away from me. Tears began to fall from my eyes. Later that night, my mom brought me some apple juice, but I knocked it away in anger and turned back to the TV. A moment later, my dad walked in and said, "Honey, I'm home." He continued, "My boss gave me all the leftover meat from work. He works as a chef in a nearby restaurant." He smiled and said, "I'll whip up something delicious." But my mom stopped him and pointed at me, saying, "Our son is still watching TV." She added, "He only watches the news. If we change the channel, he starts crying." My dad responded, "Leave it to me. Daddy's home, cutie. How about you stop watching TV and play with Daddy instead?" But I grabbed his finger tightly and thought, "Turn the TV back on." My poor dad looked a bit downhearted. In my head, I was thinking, I don't have time for distractions. I need as much information as possible about my grandfather, Sam Young Group, and how to get back to my original body. But right then, my mom turned off the TV. She said, "That's enough. You haven't eaten anything all day. It's time for food and rest." I started crying, thinking, let me go. Do you even realize how hard I worked to secure my place as Sam Young Group's successor? Am I really going to lose everything to Taegu? I need to get my position back. My mom started patting me gently and said, "Be a good boy, Song-guk. Get some rest now. I'll let you watch TV again tomorrow." I thought to myself, maybe I really am starting to lose my mind because I'm a baby. My emotions are everywhere and my thoughts are getting blurry. Every time this woman pats my back, I just fall asleep without even noticing. And with that, I fell asleep. My dad came in and said, "He's finally asleep. He's been like this all day. That must have been hard on you." My mom replied, "I'm worried about Song. He's almost 1 year old now, but he hasn't called us mom or dad even once. All he does is watch the news. I don't know much about parenting, and it scares me. What if I'm raising him the wrong way? Sweetheart, even if we don't know much, our love for him is real. That's what matters. Don't worry. Our son will grow up just fine. We just need to have faith in Song." A few days passed. Song looked completely drained. "I'm done," he muttered. "For the past few days, I've been pretending to sleep just so I could secretly watch the news, but nothing useful came up. The world's moving like nothing happened, and I'm still stuck in this baby's body. What kind of life is this?" Just then, his mom walked in and asked, "What's wrong? You're not watching TV today. Don't you want the news anymore?" Song sighed and replied, "I give up." She smiled and said, "Then how about going on a walk with Mommy? Let's go to the market and buy some groceries. The weather's really nice today." Before they left, the landlady of the building showed up. Song's mom greeted her warmly. "Miss Landlord, heading to work." Song's mom wished her a good day. Song thought to himself, the owner of this building. She's surprisingly young. They made their way to the market. "We're here, Song," his mom said cheerfully. "This market sells bean sprouts for 101 cheaper. I'll make some delicious bean sprout soup today." Song thought to himself, wow, she really talks a lot. Not that it matters. I'm still stuck drinking formula milk. Suddenly, a heavy metal beam from a nearby construction site came crashing down toward them. Both Song and his mom noticed, but it was too late. His mom instinctively shielded him with her body, taking the full impact herself. She whispered, "Song-guk, I'll protect you." Song was unharmed, but he cried out, "Mom, no, you can't die, Mom." His mother was rushed to the hospital. "Prepare for emergency surgery," the doctor shouted. "Does she have any other conditions?" At that moment, her eyes opened. "You're awake," said her husband. "Are you feeling okay?" She looked around confused. "Where am I? Song-guk, where's Song?" "He's right here," he said. "Thanks to you. He's safe, but he's been really scared ever since he got hurt." She looked at her son and said, "Song, you must have been so scared. But I'm okay. Mommy's just fine." I'm happy that my little Songguk is safe. Hearing this, Song broke into tears. This was awful. Just awful, he thought. Do you even realize how precious your life is? What would we have done if something had happened to you? Just then, his mom said, "Honey, this place looks like a private hospital room. Why'd you get something so expensive? I'm not in that bad shape." Her husband looked a bit shy. He said, "You need complete rest." "Complete rest?" she asked. "What?" He hesitated. And then we see the label on the hospital bed. It reads, "Strict bed rest for pregnant mothers." That's right. Song is going to have a little brother or sister. They all shared a beautiful, happy moment together. Then, a nurse entered the room and said, "Excuse me, visiting hours are almost over." Song's dad replied, "Yes, I was just about to leave." He turned to his wife and added, "Make the most of this time and rest. I'll be back tomorrow." She smiled and said, "Take care of yourself, and Song too." He picked up Song, and the two of them headed home. On the way, he said, "All right, Song, time to head back. The bus stop's near our place, but it's not that far. We can walk." We see his worn-out shoes. This man works so hard, Song thought. So now I don't even have money for the bus. Can't even afford the fare. This family's really struggling. But then he looked again. A father who works tirelessly to support his family. A mother who would risk her life to protect her child. And finally, Song softly called him Dad. His father froze for a second, then beamed with joy. Song thought, these people, they're my real family now. They're my parents. A week later, we see the family celebrating. His mom has been discharged from the hospital, and they're taking pictures of Song. She smiles and says, "Our little Songguk looks so adorable, doesn't he?" "Yeah," his dad replies. "He's even cuter than celebrity babies." They both look at him, filled with love. How is he this cute and perfect? But Song, watching all of this, was angry inside. He thought, is this really the time to celebrate? You struggled so hard just to pay the hospital bills, even saved on bus fare. When every penny counts, you should have ignored things like a first birthday celebration. The old me would have yelled at them for wasting money like this. But now I get it. This is love. The kind of love you can't buy with money. The kind of love where someone's willing to risk their life for someone else. Thinking that, Song finally joined in and started enjoying the moment. The day Mom was in the hospital, I made a decision, he thought. I have to do something. My parents aren't going to escape poverty on their own. They have no idea how to invest or plan financially. They're not even in a position to save. They have to scrape together cash for even the basics. And soon a huge economic crisis is coming. At least it is in the future, I know. Right then, the doorbell rang. It was their landlady, Myung, at the door. She said, "I heard you got discharged, so I came to check on you. Also about your baby. Have you ever thought about making him a child actor?" In the next scene, we see Song's mom taking him to the audition. She says, "So this is where the audition is happening." Song looks around and thinks, not bad. Looks like they spent a decent amount of money setting this up. His mom turns to him and says, "What should I do now? I don't think I came here by mistake." Song responds in his mind, "You're talking about this opportunity. This is golden for me." Then, a flashback to a past scene. The landlady had told them, "The company I work for got a project for a commercial with a famous business group. Right now, we're holding auditions for a child actor role. Your son is very good looking, and I think he's got talent." Back to the present. Song gives a mischievous smile and laughs. See, people who are meant for success, they just can't help but succeed. This is my chance to make money. Then we get another glimpse of his past. He says, "I grew up surrounded by cameras, makeup, lighting, framing. These were basic skills for me. People always compare me to actors, said I'd make a great one. An audition like this? I'll crush it. I'll win the prize, the money, all of it." He laughs to himself, full of confidence. Then he adds, "I'll invest the money I make." Suddenly, another woman yells at Song's mom, "What are you doing? Why aren't you going inside?" His mom replies politely, "Why don't you go in first?" Now, they're in the elevator. Song glares at the rich woman and her child. His mom smiles and says, "Your son is adorable." The nanny responds, "He's our young master." But the woman interrupts and snaps, "Don't talk to us, got it? You're here for the audition too, right?" Trying to increase the competition. She smirks and adds, "We'll go ahead and try, but my kid's going to be selected either way." Hearing that, Song gets furious and glares at her. She looks back at him and mutters, "Why is this baby staring at me like that?" Song thinks, "Look at her, head to toe in luxury brands, treating her nanny like a servant. Textbook rich lady behavior. But just wait, I'll destroy you in the audition." The scene shifts to the audition hall. There are other kids waiting too. Song's mom says, this doesn't look easy. But Song replies in his head, it's not hard either. This is just a simple camera test. They're just checking how we look on screen. If you can act a little, even better. But the issue is these hot lights. Kids can't handle them for long. Right then, the director calls up the rich lady's son. The assistant director says, oh, you're the wife of the CEO of Duke Pong Paper, right? Song hears that and thinks, Duke Pong Paper? So they're from that family? Their company's doing okay, I guess, but they're way below mine. He looks over with a dangerous glare and thinks, let's see how good your son really is. The assistant director asks the boy to smile for the camera, but he gets scared and starts crying. If he keeps crying like this, we won't be able to continue. The rich woman snaps. What are you saying? He'll stop crying. Just wait a second. The assistant replies calmly, but other kids are waiting too. The woman yells, what's the rush? Can't you people wait? Just then, the director says, next child, Song. Song's mom says, we're here, and helps him onto the stage. His audition is about to begin, but the rich lady suddenly barges in and shoves Song's mom aside. Move. I want to see this, she says. Song, now fired up, thinks, yeah, you should watch carefully. I'll show you exactly how I get selected. He starts acting, and the director is immediately impressed. Get my camera quick. Bring my camera, the director shouts. Song, look here. Look this way. They begin snapping side-angle shots and giving him pose directions. Cute pose. Yeah, just like that. Amazing. This kid, he's a genius. We have to take him, he adds. Song's mom watches in awe, thinking, our Songguk, he really is a genius. The director comes over and says, I'm Director Kwaku. Your son is incredible. We'd like to sign a contract right away. Do you have any conditions? Song's mom is still in shock. She says, Director, is my Songguk really talented? All of this? It's so new to me. The director says, sorry, I guess I just got a little too excited. Of course, Song has talent. He wasn't just naturally confident in front of the camera. He was actually paying attention to everything I was saying. Like, he really understood it all. And in fact, Song was understanding everything. The director continues, I'm genuinely excited to work with him. But then, the rich woman snaps. What the hell is going on here? The final audition hasn't even happened yet, and you all are acting like the winner's already been decided. That's not fair. I refuse to accept anyone else as the winner except for Jawahi. Then we see the final list of candidates. Song and the rich lady's son, Jawahi, are both selected. One of the staff members asked them to wait. The woman is still visibly irritated. Song's mom says, our Song made it to the finals, and there are so many adorable and talented kids here. But even then, Song stood out the most. Am I actually getting nervous? Jawahi's nanny comments, is something wrong? Song's mom replies, I just need to use the restroom. The nanny says, give me the baby, go quickly. Song's mom leaves. The nanny looks at Song and says, the more I look at him, he really does seem like a happy kid. Hearing that, the rich woman explodes. Are you serious? I'm already furious that they're even comparing Jawahi to this kid. Do you want to lose your job? If you like him so much, why don't you go raise him yourself? The nanny immediately apologizes. Song hears all this, and he's fuming. He thinks, look at the way she talks. I really wish I could slap her. That would be so satisfying. Right then, the assistant director walks over and asks, is Song's guardian here? The rich woman, pretending to help, says, nope, she's not here yet. You can speak freely. Song starts getting suspicious. Suddenly, the woman yells at the assistant director. Seriously, are we really going to go with that kid? Jawahi was already decided as the winner, wasn't he? The assistant director replies, yes, ma'am, that's true. Song hears that and realizes something's off here. Actually, everything is off. This whole thing's rigged. The winner was already chosen before the auditions even began. The rest of the kids were just being used as props to make the real winner look better. It was all planned. The assistant director says, ma'am, please calm down. If the director finds out, it could cause problems. The woman scoffs. The director, he doesn't know who our family is. The people above already made the decision. What's he going to do? The assistant replies, they've won a lot of international awards. Even the higher-ups can't touch the director right now, but either way, he cannot find out about this. You've prepared Jawahi for the final audition, haven't you? The woman says, of course I did. I even hired a private acting coach so he could rehearse properly. The assistant director nods, good, that's all we need. After all, that other kid isn't going to outperform Jawahi. She walks over to Jawahi and says, all right, Jawahi, how about we go over the lines one more time? Repeat after me. Song gives a small smile. Then, the final audition begins. The director announces, the winner will be the one who can say the lines most naturally. Song looks at his mom and says, "Don't worry, I've got this." The director calls action. Song thinks to himself, how do they react on set during shoots? Direction counts as part of the score. I have to position myself just right for the camera angles. And with that, Song heads straight toward the camera and the director, while Jawahi instead walks toward his mom. His mom quickly says, "No, Jawahi, not this way," toward the camera. The director watches and says, "Should we just skip Jawahi and start with Song's test?" The assistant director agrees. Have him say the lines. She thinks to herself, Jawahi practiced, but this other kid, he doesn't know anything. He's definitely going to mess it up. She's just about to prompt Song when he suddenly starts speaking. And he says the lines in the cutest, most perfect way. The director smiles and says, "Just as I expected." Song never disappoints. My eyes weren't wrong. But at that moment, the rich woman steps forward and insists, "Just give Jawahi one more try." The director knows she's pushy, so he gives in. "Okay, Jawahi, can you try saying daddy for us?" But instead of speaking, Jawahi starts crying. It's a total embarrassment. The woman says, "This doesn't make sense. I trained him for this." The director turns sharply and says, "What did you just say?" And the assistant director shuts everything down. The audition is over. "Thank you, everyone." Song, smiling, says, "There's nothing you can do now. I've already won." But moments later, the rich lady's kid is announced as the winner. Well, of course that happened. Song's mom protests to the assistant director. "That can't be right. My Song performed amazingly." The assistant replies, "Just because a child acts cute doesn't mean they're fit to be a child actor." Then the rich woman walks back over and sneers. "You thought you could win with just a little charm? Do you even know your place? A second place finish is more than enough for a low-class kid like yours. I'm sure you worked really hard, but that's life." She walks off. Song's mom, angry, says, "How could she say that in front of my child?" But Song looks completely calm. He tells her to relax and says, "Everything went exactly the way I expected, if my calculations are right." Just then, the director comes running over. He says to Song's mom, "Can we talk for a minute?" Then we get a flashback when Song first heard that Jawahi was already chosen as the winner. Song narrates, "The moment I found that out, I changed my plan. In my past life, I saw too many of these kinds of corrupt setups. You can't beat people who've already bought their way to the top. So, if losing is inevitable, what's the point of fighting? A real businessman always plays the long game, and that game is connections." Back in the present, the director says, "I wanted to speak with you. I'm sure this has come as a surprise. It really seems like they rigged the audition. I'm sorry, Song. I didn't want you to see this nonsense." Song, smiling brightly, says, "So what's next?" The director invites them to the commercial shoot happening the next week. Song beams and thinks, "That's exactly what I wanted. I don't want to be a one-time commercial model. If I impress the director, that means connections. Then, I'll keep getting child roles, become a child star, and eventually rich. That's the goal. I need to secure a stable and consistent source of income. With a commercial like this, you can do anything. I'm going to win the director over, and then I'll make tons of money, and with that money, I'll support my family." Song's mom asks, "Why do we need to come to the commercial shoot?" The director explains, "For baby models, we always prepare 1 or 2 backups in case the main kid gets sick. Honestly, we're worried. The current winner cries way too easily." Well, of course he does. The director holds Song's mom's hand and says, "Please, just help us out this one time." Song's mom says, "I just wonder, will Song really be okay?" And Song replies, "Of course I'll be fine. Just say yes to them." He thinks, you could practically see the dollar signs in his eyes. This kid is seriously greedy. The director laughs and says, "It really feels like he understands everything we're saying. If all kids were like Song, my job would be a whole lot easier. By the way, ma'am, could you give me your contact info? I'd love to work with Song on future projects, too. Here's my business card." Song's mom gives him their home number. 1 week later, on the day of the shoot, Song's mom brings him to the set. "I can't believe there's such a beautiful place like this in the forest," she says. Just then, the assistant director shows up, and Song instantly gets angry. He thinks, that's the same corrupt assistant director. She looks at Song and says, "Why is this kid staring at me like that? Anyway, let me show you to the waiting room. You're here as the backup, right? That's what the director told me. This way, please." Song's eyes wander over to a washing machine. He thinks, it's a product made by my family's company, Samsung John Turbo Washer. This product was a massive hit. The revolutionary drum system made Samsung John's stock prices soar. Grandpa was so proud of it. Is this commercial about that? Right then, that rich woman storms in and yells, "Why are they here? They already lost." But this time, Song's mom doesn't hold back. She says, "The director called us here as the backup models, and please don't use that kind of language in front of the children." The woman snaps, "Why do we even need backup models?" The assistant explains, "In case Jawahi suddenly gets sick, we'll need a backup ready." The woman fires back, "Jawahi doesn't need any of that. What's so hard about this commercial anyway? He's in perfect condition." She mutters, "Yeah, well, he sure doesn't look like it. Anyway, you people are useless. Just go sit quietly in the corner." Then a woman walks in. "Are these the kids I'll be filming with today?" she asks. The assistant replies, "Yes, you're right. That boy over there is Song, the backup model. And this one here is Jawahi, the winner of the audition." Sammy goes over to Jawahi and tries talking to him, but he completely ignores her and then starts crying. She frowns and says, "Well, I guess he's not interested in me." So she walks over to Song, who's only focused on building connections. He greets her warmly, totally friendly. She says, "I've never met a baby this outgoing." Song's mom replies, "Yes, our Song is very friendly with everyone." Then Sammy says, "I actually think this kid is way cuter. Can I shoot with him instead?" The rich woman overhears that and gets furious. She grabs Sammy's arm tightly and shouts, "What kind of nonsense are you saying? Don't say stupid things." Sammy pulls her hand back and says, "Excuse me, who even are you? And do you even realize what you're doing?" Before the woman can say anything, a man places a hand on her shoulder. "What's going on here?" someone asks, raising their voice. Sammy looks up and says, "Vice Chairman, what are you doing here?" The man says, "There's no way I'd miss the shoot for our new product." Song sees him and is completely shocked because this man is his father, John Jae Hyung, vice chairman of the Sam Jong Group. What kind of person is he really? Song explains, "He's not like my grandfather, John Jushin, but he's a solid vice chairman. He handled the company well during a crisis, restructured everything, and wasn't afraid to invest in new areas. People see him as a smart business leader, a successful vice chairman of Sam Jong. But as a person, as a husband and father, he was terrible." Song says, "Seeing him brings back all the old memories." Then we see a flashback. Song recalls, "My father had countless affairs. When I was 10, he introduced me to another woman. The woman said to him, 'So you're Song-guk? You're adorable. From now on, take care of me, okay?'" Song narrates, "She was just one of my father's many mistresses, and as soon as I saw her, I mentally erased her. That woman was none other than Simi." Back in the present, she says, "I'm shooting with some kids today, and I really like this one." Then Song's father walks over and says hello to him, but a staff member interrupts. "Excuse me, sir. It's time to go." "Oh wow, I'm running late. Sorry, I have to leave." Before going, the vice chairman tells the rich woman, "Please make sure everything goes smoothly during filming." She freezes, completely shaken. "Yes, sir. I'll do my best." After all, she's standing in front of the vice chairman of the Sam Jong Group, someone leagues above her. Song thinks he always seemed like a flashy playboy who chased women, but in critical moments, there was a charisma in him that made him a true corporate leader. "That was my father." The vice chairman pats Song on the head and says, "Take care." He leaves during the shoot, and Song quietly says to himself, "Father, my new life is going to be completely different. I found something I can finally call family, and I'll protect them. One day, I'll build a company even bigger than Sam Jong, and we will meet again." The assistant director announces, "All right, everyone, we're about to start filming. The director will be here any minute. Get ready." Song smiles again and says, "The past life stayed in the past. Let's focus on what actually matters now." Clearly, he's planning something involving Jawahi. He explains the commercial. It's a simple concept. In a beautiful forest villa, a mom is doing laundry with her baby beside her. She's washing dad's white shirt that got dirty from sweat. The Sam June washing machine spins, and the shirt comes out sparkling white. The baby rubs his cheek against the shirt, happy, and calls out to his dad. The commercial ends with a refreshing scene of the shiny washing machine. In my past life, this ad was a huge success. It even won the Dongai Advertising Award. The child actor in it became instantly famous, so I have to do this commercial. Then, as the shoot begins, Jawahi starts crying. The lead actress says, "What's going on? Every time I go near him, he tries to hit me." Song's mom says, "Why is he suddenly acting like this?" Song smiles. Exactly. Why is he doing that? He adds, everything's going just according to my genius plan. We get a flashback. Song says, that kid, Jawahi, he's miserable because of his mom. I gave him a brilliant tip. I told him, whenever Sammy comes close, cry your heart out, and you'll get to go home faster. Am I a mind reader? I don't know. Maybe because we're both kids, we can understand each other. The director says, this isn't working. Let's film with the second model. The rich woman shouts, what do you mean? My baby won. The director responds, we've been delayed for over an hour. The child won't cooperate, and he hits the lead actress every time she comes near. What else can we do? He gets stern. We have to wrap the shoot today. The rich woman yells, shut up. Don't you know who our family is? She pulls out her phone and says, the chairman of Ducombe adores his grandchild. I'm calling him right now. Song watches and mutters, wow, a phone for the 90s? The woman shouts, I'm contacting him right now, and I'll have all of you replaced. Just then, the lead actress, Senmi, walks up and slaps that rich woman across the face. Everyone is completely shocked. Senmi says, what the hell is this? I can't stand it when people who have nothing to do with the project come to the set and cause drama. And just because you're the wife of a duct paper executive, I get it. You enjoy acting like you're above everyone else. She turns to the director and says, let's start filming again. I want to shoot this commercial with this kid. The director agrees. All right, everyone get ready. You're choosing to shoot with this low-class kid instead of Jawahi? What can he even do? Song's mom quickly covers Song's ears so he doesn't hear any of it. Song narrates, those camera lights were one of the few things that stuck with me until the end of my previous life. Acting confidently in front of camera was one of my strongest skills, so I know exactly how to handle this. The assistant director shows Sammy her final lines. She says, look at how clean Dad's dirty shirt got. Right, baby? It's super clean and fluffy now. Song gives such an adorable expression that everyone on set is impressed again. The director says, keep the main camera like that. Everyone else, focus around Song. Song keeps acting, and the director says, his eyes are locked right on the camera. What even is this kid? Even the lead actress is stunned. Seriously, how is he acting this well for a commercial? The assistant director shows Sanmi the final lines. She delivers them perfectly, and the shoot for the washing machine ad wraps up nicely. Later that evening, the same rich woman is still yelling, just because he gave one cute performance. Now you want to make him the commercial model instead of Jawahi. The director teases, what about Jawahi? The kid couldn't even act. Song is exhausted at this point. Sammy walks over Song's mom and says, let her scream all she wants. It's not going to change anything. What's the point of this drama? I mean, what can we do if her kid couldn't act? Compared to that, our Song was amazing. I didn't expect to finish the shoot in just 2 hours. That woman storms over to Sammy and snaps. Don't make me laugh. You have no idea how much money I spent on this set, right? Assistant director? I bet you got paid plenty too. The director overhears and says, wait, assistant director, you got paid off? We're going to have a serious talk later. As the rich woman walks away, she shouts again, I'll remember this, all of you. But Song doesn't say a word. He's just too tired. The director turns to Song's mom. I'm so sorry. This must have been overwhelming for you. She replies, no, you've worked very hard. We appreciate that. The director smiles. Actually, I should be the one thanking you. I don't even want to imagine what would have happened if Song hadn't been here today. Song hears this and smiles proudly. The director continues, that was our last shoot of the day. You're all free to go home now. The payment will be handled through the company honestly and with full respect. Hearing that, Song starts laughing and his mom beams. All right, time to head home. You must be exhausted. Semi chimes in. Would it be all right if I dropped you off in my van? Song's mom agrees. Song is fast asleep in the van. Sammy says, he looks so adorable when he sleeps. His mom replies, he must be really tired and thank you so much for giving us a ride in your nice car. But Sammy says, no, I should be the one thanking Song. Song's mom is surprised. Sammy explains, today, Song was an incredible lead actor. I should thank him. Because of him, I'll actually be able to get to my next job on time. His eyes were following the camera lights perfectly. He really understood the camera work and was syncing perfectly with my rhythm. It might just be coincidence, but he even matched the angle of my face. Then Song, still half asleep, says, your right side looks better on camera. Sammy laughs. See, he gets the flow of the camera. He gave a performance that could totally dominate the screen. In my eyes, Song is already a complete actor. Song's mom hears that and says, "Our Song really is something." Then Sammy says, "If that's the case, I'd like to make a suggestion." Song wakes up right then. Sammy says something, but we don't hear it yet. Both Song and his mom are stunned. Song smiles and says, "Are you serious?" They're back home. The landlord says, "Here's your payment for $1,000,001. The original fee was just $3 million, but the director told us to increase it." Song's parents are completely shocked. Song grins, just as I expected. Being a child model was a smart choice. What other way could I have made money in this kid's body? This is enough to start some capital. If I invest in stocks or gold. He gives a devilish smile. His dad says for $1,000,001. I've never even held that kind of money before. But Song's mom looks a little worried and says to the landlord, "Yesterday, actress Sammy gave me this." Song says, "Ah, so that's why you were so shocked, Mom." The landlord looks at it and says, "This is a card from Sammy's agency, Song Entertainment." His mom says, "I think they were really impressed by Song's talent. That's why they want to bring him into their agency as an exclusive child actor." Song's dad is stunned. An exclusive child actor? Are they trying to make our Song a celebrity? His mom replies, "I don't know, but if he does well, that would be amazing." Honestly, this is all so unexpected. The landlord looks thoughtful for a moment, then says, "Don't worry. I'll look into it. I've heard of Song Entertainment. I'll check who the CEO is and how they treat their actors." Hearing that, Song's mom gets emotional and smiles. Song watches and thinks, she's doing so much for us. As the landlord gets ready to leave, Song's mom stops her. "Can I ask you something?" she asks. "Why are you helping us so much? You're the first one who really saw Song's talent, and you're always so willing to help." The landlord looks surprised. "I just want to support you," she says softly. "I grew up all alone. I know how hard it is. I saved money by cutting down on food and clothes just to buy this building. Then I met you, this young couple working so hard together. It felt really nice to see that. I just wanted to cheer you on, but maybe I've gotten too involved." Song's mom smiles. "Can I call you Oni-ai?" she asks. Oni-ai means older sister. The landlord looks surprised. "If you don't mind," she says, "I want to treat you like family." The landlord smiles gently. "All right then," she says, "and from now on, I'll call you Soyoung." Song's mom's name is Soyoung. She adds, "So if I ever call her Soyoung, don't be confused, okay?" Soyoung smiles. "Got it, Oni-ai," she says. From now on, they'll call the landlord Myung Oni-ai. Song watches all this. "Ah, so that's what's going on," he says. "The weather really is nice today." 2 weeks later, we see Song's dad at work. "Just like you asked, boss," he says, "we close the shop early." His boss, Park Won, is the owner of the shop. "Thanks so much for letting us close early today, so we could watch Song's commercial," Song's dad says. His boss replies, "Of course. We've got a huge TV here, and I want to see our Song's commercial too." Song, annoyed, mutters to himself, "If this old guy wasn't my dad's boss, I wouldn't let this slide. But fine, he did me a favor, so whatever." Just then, Myung arrives. Soyoung welcomes her in. "You made it right on time." Myung says, "Feels like we're all here to watch a movie." Song's dad calls out, "It's starting." Everyone gather around. They all sit together to watch Song's commercial. Everyone's beaming at his cuteness. Park Won even starts clapping. Myung says, "That was amazing. So well edited too. If all goes well, this commercial might win Commercial of the Year." Song's dad hugs him. "I'm so proud of you, Song," he says. "How is such a beautiful and talented kid, my son?" Soyoung laughs. "Oh, hush," she says. Just then, Park gets a call, and he's shocked. On the other end is the director. "I heard you're all watching the commercial together today," he says. "There's something urgent I need to talk about with Song's family. May I speak with them?" Scene shifts. We see the director's office, where Song's parents are also present. The director says, "Thank you for coming." Song's dad replies, "Thank you for inviting us to your office." The director turns to Song. "So, how are you doing, Song?" he asks. Song smiles. "Director," he responds. Surprised, the director said, "Wow, he's talking even more than before." Song's mom laughed and replied, "Yeah, he's at that stage now. He's learning how to talk, and he's chatting away all day long." The director chuckled and said, "It looks like we can start giving Song some longer lines. At this rate, he'll be reciting scripts like a pro in no time. Honestly, I'm excited to watch him grow." He invited the parents to sit. "The reason I asked you to come in today is to talk about a new program. Song will have the lead role. The show is called Just Baby. It's a parenting reality show where 5 famous idol group members will live with Song. And the idol group we're partnering with is..." That's all for today. For the next part, make sure to subscribe my channel Fire Recap. And you don't forget to share and like the video. I am out.